Welcome, new Pepperdine GSEP student employees. Pepperdine University Graduate School of Education and Psychology provides a cross-cultural community where faculty, staff, and students work collaboratively to foster academic excellence, social purpose, meaningful service, and personal fulfillment. Pepperdine University is a Christian university committed to providing an environment focused on academic excellence and Christian values. At Pepperdine, our academics, extracurricular activities, and work environment are all designed to promote purpose, service, and leadership. There are 3 different student employment opportunities at the Graduate School of Education and Psychology. The first position is Graduate Assistant. In this position, students work in a non-academic position, such as admissions or marketing, where duties are assigned by their supervisor. The second opportunity is Teaching Assistant. Students are responsible for assisting a professor in grading exams, papers, holding study sessions, individual tutoring, and proctoring exams. The final option is being a research assistant, whereby students are assisting in collecting and reviewing articles, collecting, scoring, and analyzing data, and assisting in the preparation of presentations and/or articles. As a student employee, students have the opportunity to network with faculty and staff members, engage in meaningful work while gaining job experience, as well as earn additional income while taking classes. It is important that students remember that they are employed by Pepperdine University and should adhere to all GSEP employee guidelines related to tardiness, appearance, and phone etiquette. If you are running late, please tell your supervisor. Plan ahead. People are relying on you. The dress code for student employees is business casual. Students working on campus need to dress appropriately due to frequent interaction with students, faculty, parents, and members of the Malibu community. The following list is a guideline as to what to wear in this environment. No backless, see-through, tight-fitting, or strapless tops. No short shorts and skirts. No mid-drift tops. No bare feet. No visible undergarments. We understand that students are coming from class and want to be comfortable, but please bear in mind that this is a professional working environment. All GSEP departments answer the phone differently based on the needs of the departments. However, there are some general guidelines that should be followed. Please be sure to avoid saying things like, "He or she is out." "I don't know where he or she is." "He or she hasn't come in yet." "He or she took the day off." "He or she doesn't want to be bothered right now." Instead, you should say, "He or she is not in the office at the moment. Would you like to leave a message on his or her voicemail?" If the caller does not want to leave a voicemail, offer to take a message. GSEP employs 3 positions as mentioned previously: graduate assistant, teaching assistant, and research assistant. As a graduate assistant, students can work up to 19.75 hours a week. As a teaching assistant, students can work up to 6 hours a week. And as a research assistant, students can work up to 10 hours a week. Students are able to secure more than 1 position at a time within the same semester. However, the total number of hours worked cannot exceed 19.75 hours per week. For example, a student can be a research assistant for 10 hours per week and then a graduate assistant for 9.75 hours, totaling 19.75 hours per week. Students are not permitted to work overtime, holidays, or on days that the university is closed. Any exceptions must be approved in advance by supervisor and the GSEP Student Employment Office. Students are required to take one 15-minute paid break for every 4 consecutive hours worked, one 30-minute unpaid break for every 5 consecutive hours worked, and one 30-minute unpaid break when working 6 or more consecutive hours. It is extremely important to note you cannot work 6 hours without taking a break. Student employees will accrue sick time based on actual hours worked in the following manner. Leave will start accruing on the first day of work at the rate of 0.033 hours of sick time per hour worked. Student employees can accrue up to a 48-hour maximum per calendar year. Student employees can take a maximum of 24 hours per calendar year, subject to available time. The balances, if applicable, will roll over to the following calendar year. Students can utilize sick time only if they are unable to work their assigned shift due to illness or a medical appointment and cannot make up shift on another day during the same work week. It is important to notify your supervisor prior to the beginning of your shift if possible to let them know that you will be unable to work due to illness. Supervisors may have additional policies regarding notification of absences, so please ask your supervisor for contact preferences or department policies regarding notification of absences or department policies regarding missed work. Chronos is the internal system whereby students input their hours. You can access Chronos through WaveNet and click Timesheet in the upper right-hand corner. You can also access through the site mytime.pepperdine.edu. Students should enter their hours for the current pay period every day. Please accurately record the exact time worked. Double-click the in or out cells and enter the time you arrived or left work. Be sure to log your breaks. Hit Save to save your hours and show cumulative totals in the right column. Hit Refresh to make sure your hours are logged and saved appropriately. If there are changes to the time worked or hours need to be entered, double-click the cell that requires editing. Students with multiple positions must enter transfer codes for the second job to ensure that they are getting paid from the correct source. You must clock out of one job before transferring to another job. In order to properly input your transfer code, you should select the transfer box and click the plus sign. Hover over the transfers to show the entire transfer code. If the transfer doesn't appear, click on the search. In the Select Transfer window that opens, choose Select Locations from the drop-down menu. Click OK. Your multiple jobs should appear in the pop-up box. Your jobs will be listed by your department code, which is given to you when you are hired, or you can ask your supervisor for this information. Continue to open the plus signs until you get the option of selecting your job code. Once selected, go ahead and hit Apply. Note, you do not need to enter a transfer code for your first position because that is already in the system as your default pay code. Once you have saved all of your hours and reviewed them for accuracy, you will need to select the Approve button. Once your hours have been approved, you are no longer able to edit them without first removing the approval. If your hours are approved by your supervisor, you will need to ask them to remove the approval in order to make edits. According to University Policy Manual, Section 14.4, time records must be approved by supervisors and forwarded to the payroll department according to the published schedule. To ensure that employees are paid punctually, correctly completed timesheets must be received on schedule. Time card submission is extremely important. If not completed on time, it could lead to disciplinary actions including written warning and/or termination. Be sure to submit all time cards in by the timekeeping deadline. All time cards that are not submitted by the proper deadline via Chronos will need to be submitted as a paper time copy. Please note, paper time copies take longer to process and will delay payment. Paychecks are distributed bi-weekly by check, direct deposit, and/or applied to student account. Multiple jobs? No problem. You can get it all in one check. Wages are subject to federal and state income taxes. FICA tax exemption depends on enrollment status. All student employees have access to direct deposit. Federal and university guidelines require that specific documentation be provided prior to beginning any work. The following documents are legally required prior to begin working: confidentiality agreement, mandated reporter acknowledgement form, I-9, and W-4. Pepperdine University is required to conduct a survey pursuant to the Air Quality Management District of the travel modes of all employees, including faculty, staff, temporary, contract, and student workers. The purpose of the survey is to get an accurate assessment of the average vehicle ridership for the Malibu and West LA campuses. All student workers, staff, and faculty at these campuses will be included in the survey pool. Even if you did not commute to the West LA or Malibu campus during the assigned reporting week, we ask that you still report that information to us. Thank you for completing the new GSEP Student Employee Training. If you have any additional questions regarding this training or your position, please feel free to reach us at GSEPSEMP@pepperdine.edu. Thank you.